All right, what's up? What's up? Good morning and welcome back. For those of you tuning in on YouTube, remember the disclaimer, day trading is risky. I am a little distracted today by the insane large cap move on Tesla. I was kind of watching on there, so a little bit of a later start here to the live stream. So RELI, this seems to be the hot one right now. Let's see here. RELI. There's quite a few on the watch list. I'm going to do a bit of a speed check here. CHEK, which is up 300%. Looks decent. Looks good. It's holding up above the VWAP, which is not bad. Although we have pulled back from those highs of 440s. HSDT. This one is down a bit. I wonder if it started off in after hours. HSDT. Doesn't really look the best. ATCH. ATCH could be interesting. GPUS, another cheaper one. How is it looking? Big move early at 6 a.m. and then sold off. Okay, I think maybe RELI, ATCH, and my stream. Oh yeah, my bad. Good thing I'm looking at the chat here. The Mighty should also be joining us here in the next minute. RELI, and then the other one that I mentioned earlier, CHEK, my top three. The others, you know, if they hit the scans and are strong, of course we'll trade them, we'll jump on the wave. You know, after reviewing this weekend, I think my biggest thing is just, you know, trading at the lows, right? Like there are some areas where I need to be confident where I'm not, and other times where the pullback is so massive that it needs to be left alone. And so once we get that initial base and there's a proper bounce, from there on, got to be very aggressive towards trading the lows to capture the move early. Because sometimes you might only get 2 or 3 attempts and then the stock might be down or it might be curling up depending if it's strong, right? And then we're kind of into a new level. So RELI into the open here. I'll be watching pre-market highs are 203. So far it's a tight range with lows of 170. And the daily chart, let's just double check. The daily chart, our 200 EMAs at 240 or so, plus or minus. Over 240, potential room to 260, and then 355 key levels. $240, 200 EMA. Over that level, 260. There's a 2-minute warning. No, I'm not blocking my P&L. I haven't taken any trades yet. 260. 260. If you're talking about YouTube, it's because I have E-Trade in the back here. I'm utilizing the daily chart right now in this very instant. And then 355. So if I click on E-Trade and then I click back on this one on Thinkorswim, the E-Trade thing is like down below. So I have to like minimize it every time to be able to get Guardian and like the other platform. Oh, let's say Guardian. 355, and then there's a minute to go. So, you know, let's remember today to be disciplined. Let's be patient. It's another beautiful day. Remember, let's remember our rules. Let's remember the adjustments and things we want to implement into today's trading to have that better outcome. So for me, as mentioned, studying over the weekend, having to be a little bit more firm at the lows, I think can really give me an advantage here into the trading day. So looking forward to being in a similar situation and improving versus last time. Also feel pretty good today. Over this weekend, I was pretty under the weather, just kind of was out of it, but feel much better here coming into Monday morning. So very happy here to be trading on this fine day. So RELI pulling back to the VWAP. We'll see what we get out of this one. CHEK seems to have a pretty wide range. Good bounce there for RELI. Good bounce. ATCH. ATCH. Also on a pretty big green candlestick here. I wonder if there's shares to short as well. If it does get extended here at the highs. No shares to short. That was a pretty quick push back to 5. However, we're not pushing through. Okay. Damn, this is stronger than I would expect. All right. Okay. It was slow to break. Well, once it broke, it's instantly basically 9 and then 15. Nice. I'm not in, but pretty good. It's halted up. Holy smokes. Let me get my other level 2. I gotta save my layout so that these level 2s just stay on the screen in a particular area. ATCH. Like I have an extra level 2, which I think is useful. So 37, 34 for resumption. Jeez Louise. And the break of 105 though, right? I mean, it went from 02 to 5 like in an instant. And then over 5, it took an eternity to break. So I wasn't quite ready to jump in. I wasn't super confident about jumping in, but the 3-bar play over the highs is going to work out splendidly. Also, the pre-market high is at 96 for those of you watching it right out of the open here. Gave a nice push through break of 96. You catch this early, you know, maybe that's your day already, right? It's already a nice day. I can also pull up the 10-second. I know some people do like to see it. ATCH. Can pull up the 10-second. I'm gonna rotate through the others. Also, I'm gonna check the daily chart here, actually. Let me do that first. ATCH. RELI might be backside. ATCH. We have room to 194 and 210. Before any potential resistance. Uh, 194. This thing can move fast. Like there's gonna be risk. You gotta, you know, I think it's gonna be important for us to not get caught because obviously we're gonna be using size on this cheap stock. So you can't afford to get caught because it's gonna be like an 8-cent loss, which is with size is gonna be pretty bad. So I think it's gonna just come down to being accurate. Yeah, Big Steve, 5K size, small size, and then at least like 10K plus for big size. But accuracy is going to be important here because if we're not accurate, we can expect a big loss. So the dip and rip time 37:34. There's about a minute and 10 seconds. Will we see a clean dip and rip? And will we see continuation? If not, you know, I want to ease off in case it pulls back below 1. It seems to have that type of range. Aggressive traders I mean, people are probably already in, but if not, when it does base out, I mean, I can see people taking 100K size easily. So maybe it depends, right? I mean, if it moves fast, you're not going to have time to build a position. But if it's like consolidating, I can see people taking big size. So, you know, in the grand scheme, 5K size is like Big Steve, just slam 25K size and, you know, just go for it, man. Take the risk. You're in a good position, Big Steve. 30K size. This is your chance. Okay, we got 10 seconds cutting the chatter. Watching for the dip and rip. We're at 116. Oh, you son of a gun. I bought 96 and I got filled at 01. All right, I'm going to get caught and halt down for the dip. Mother lover. The dip is dipping and no ripping. So I'm at right here. This is how you can start a day pretty bad. I'm at the mercies of the seas. If this opens up at like 80 cents, I'm cooked. Bro. Come on. It is close to the halt down. Of course, it's a little bit more risky trade there. But 18 to $1, you know, okay, I'll take that. Cool. Oh, that was insane though. 18 to 1, no bounce. Is there anything else moving? In the meantime, IHT. And let me check the other chat here. PTNM. IHT. Is it any good? PTNM. PTNM also lighter volume, not good. NaOV. This one is lighter volume, halt up 189K. There's a minute 50 seconds to resumption. I didn't put out a sell order. I mean, I probably should. I don't know where it's going to resume. It could be sideways. It could be lower. $42.51 for resumption. Oh my God. NaOV, a minute 12 seconds. It's halted up at 1074. $15 the pre-market highs. Lows are at 886. And it's halted up on a red to green here. 1174 is the VWAP, which is another dollar a share up. $30 seconds. 42.51. So there's another 2 minutes for ATCH. NaOV at 1074. Watching and waiting, 10 seconds. The volume needs to be high though, you know. If we can see a high volume resumption, it'll be pretty good. 1074. Sideways. Taking the dip. Selling the rip. Although my fills looks like they were terrible. A dip and rip on NaOV. I'd like to see a new high here. There's a spread. It's kind of struggling for the new high. Because there was like a 20-cent spread on both sides, I didn't really get the best fills. So only small green there. If I'm lucky, ATCH will resume sideways, and it'll be like a $300 loss, which is not too bad. At least I didn't send it 25K size. That would have been more risk. Way more risk. Yep, it is sideways. We'll see if it does bounce. I should have gotten 91, but I'm in with a slightly higher fill. What you need is Mighty to be stuck in a halt down with you, right? If Marcelo is stuck in a halt down with you, the halt level resumes higher every time. The Mighty has the charm in those situations. At least so it seems from whenever he puts a message in the chat in those halts. So NaOV rejecting the VWAP 1170 coming down. I'm gonna keep an eye on ATCH here back over 1 if it is to be strong. But maybe it is done. I'll check out some other ones here on the seconds. The halt up is 108. 108, the halt up, 108. And AOV is back at 1150. Looks like it's pushing through this time. This one could end up being pretty strong, if the red to green continues. I think I'll start to look at this one alone. Just try to lock in here. I'm gonna have to fight against the fills though, which is not ideal. Actually, I think I know what I'll do here. $68. Wow, okay. All right. Wow. It is kind of tricky though, right? I'm thinking that dip might have been a little too extended. And it's right back up. It just has that type of range to it. 1190 to 1060. At worst case, I guess I can always throw out the starter size just to see. This is not a stock for market orders. That's what the number one thing that I'm seeing. Come on. Am I not getting filled? What? What was happening? Okay, bro. Oh, I have to use Thinkorswim after all. That's should have been in there. I tried going long down there 3 times. I'm not sure why I didn't get filled. It's halting up 1281. False halt. I tried on Guardian. I'm not sure why I didn't get filled. Halt is now at 13. It's trying for the halt up again here, 17. Halt level moved up. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I tried buying 3 different times for a break of, not break of, the dip at like 11, what was that, like 11:20? Not sure. Big Steve, this is your chance, bro. 6K size. 6K size. Big Steve, this is a new stock, a new chance, a new opportunity to take on some risk. By the way, Resumption, let me pull it up here. 2 minutes 50 seconds for Resumption, showing 317. ATCH did not hold up well after the small bounce to 1. Ended up dropping down some more to 85 cents. Halt down. So a bit of a small red start after that trade there in the halt down. We're down 160 to start the day. Just gonna take it easy here. I wish I could have gotten the trades in there at 11:20s, but there's no reason why I shouldn't have been filled. I have to like go back and like check later. Chat room, I tell you, I tell you, man. It's showing sideways resumption. We got 26 seconds. It's showing 13.17. Sideways resumption. Pre-market highs are at 15.44. We'll see if it's able to give a dip and rip. A dip and rip. Dip and rip has been pretty sorry here, though, recently, right? Small size for me. It's now showing 13. Here we go. $11.70 lows. Bro, that fill was preposterous. However, it's going to continue. That insta-buy would have worked nicely right there. 14.08 to halt up. 14.39. We're going to get the dip and rip. You know, we're going to get the dip and rip. It did look pretty grim, though. The halt down was pretty close to where we opened. Ah, my bro, fucking hell, man. Why does it have to be so dicey, dear? I gotta not let that 20-30 cent drop get me out of the trade there. I mean, the bids just kind of came down a little bit, but it held. The fills are not the fills you want. My risk is gonna be 35-40 cents here, which is a little higher. Can't seem to get the great fills. Can we see back over 14 and then 1430? We had a new low of 25 right there. A new low again. We're seeing a bigger pullback here. Our 5-minute candle under a bit of stress now. It could halt down. Got to be careful here. Okay, we might get another opportunity. We'll see. False breakout. Bro. There was a bid, it's not there anymore. Man, what a interesting one here. There's another 2 minutes, or let's say a minute and some change for the new 5-minute candlestick. I'd prefer for us to close At least as a green doji here without too much of a wick. HSDT was halted, I believe. Is it halted up? I've dropped my size since not being able to connect after the original dip. And these fills are quite interesting. Shit, my bad. My mic was muted. I was saying, freaking hell. I was saying, zooming out and looking at the 5-minute chart, the stock still seems bullish in the red to green. So we'll see if it's able to hold up. But I took a lot of losses trying to get the new breakout at the highs. Just the silliest trades. I mean, like I'd be in for the move in a good area. It drops 30 cents. I'm out, and then it's up 50 cents. Like, come on. ONFO. How are we doing? The halt is at 191 here. We haven't had a pullback yet. Okay, there's the halt up. We haven't had a pullback. 75 to 60. No red candles as of yet. Resumption is a minute 50 seconds out. NFO, we'll see if it's able to hold. For now, I'm hoping it's not Christmas tree. $48 seconds to resumption. I remember after the team house, I took this same setup here with like 3,000 size. Like, our 5 minute chart looks good, but we're in a market now where some of these dips, they don't bounce at all, right? So like on this resumption, once it bases out, taking that bottom and then looking for a red to green. Can we see a red to green here on what I would say is still a pretty strong chart over time? And doesn't have to be like right away, but over the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. NaOV, will we be able to hold around the VWAP? Oh, NFO is curled back up a little to 85. Yeah, this thing might just be dipping, dipping, dipping. We're getting new lows. ONFO, only 100 shares there, so not really anything lost, but we're seeing new lows still. Low of 1170 there. For those people trading ONFO, you know, is it any good? There's 80. There's 81. Price action definitely seems a little wacky for ONFO. More, more, and more, and more. Small size is the only thing saving me here so far. Not seeing anything being mentioned in the chat here as of yet. Scanner, it's a little slow. NaOV had sold off. Okay, red to green for now. What was that low? 1105. It's quite a pullback. Bro, how wide your stop has to be on these type of stocks, like even on this red to green right here, right? To like say I'm gonna hold this for 10 minutes. It's halting up 28. So you gotta have like an 80-cent stop there. If you're not perfectly like timing this candlestick somewhere along the bottom. You know, even for areas like this. Was my mic muted again? Holy shit. Jesus Christ. I'm cooked. I gotta stop doing that. I keep doing it. I keep muting it for like no reason. Yeah, NaOV, I'm saying like on the red to green here, if I'm to like be in holding longer, 10 minutes, it's like my stop would have to be so wide unless I'm able to really time this bottoming wick with super accuracy. You know, the moment the 1 minute candle makes a new high, it's already up $1 a share from the lows. Red 400 here, not good. Taking small losses that are adding up. 200 on one stock, 90 on another, 90 on another. We were green 200 here early in the dip and rip, and then just small loss, adding up. 1 or 2 good trades, and then like 6 losers trying to get the breakout over here. Another loss on the way down. It's like the 5 minute chart, you know, despite having the topping wick earlier, I'd say it still looks good. And of course, the red to green is good proof of that, but it's still tough to trade. The only thing I'm seeing that could have made sense here is, you know, let's say you're buying VWAP and lower, and your order is like stretched out over like $1.30, and like you're really watching this thing like real low. If not, I mean, you're gonna get stopped out, right? The range is so big. 60-cent stop, you know, stuff like that is just too tight. But accumulating a position over time, over like 15 minutes here, just slowly, you know, maybe every 30-cent increment lower. It's like the only thing that could have worked here. The baby pullback at 10.17 looks like there was a good entry there as well. 2 minutes, 10 seconds to resumption. If we can't get anything on this one, we got to be extremely careful because we're already like red over all the smaller losses. So at this rate, swing trading is the only thing saving me here. This is absolute depths. I need to see some more consistent momentum in the uptrend without the massive flush outs. What's crazy is if I insta-buy this resumption here, it's like an insane trade. The other one where we resume significantly lower for the instant bounce just was right down. Maybe affecting the confidence a little there to jump in as aggressively right away, even with the smaller size. We got 35 seconds showing sideways resumption. We're at 13:29. Show us something good so we can smile in the next 30 seconds here. Here we go. Getting the fills is a whole nother issue, right? That's good. Will it continue? Not quite. Maybe. Fills, bro. The fills are to be expected. Wild and crazy. Backing off and giving it a sec here. Seems to still be holding up. I want to be careful of that massive pullback that could come, but it's holding up. 470. Right now, I'd consider the double top unless it does push through. Okay, it is going to push through. Damn, bro, I bought 10. I'm in at 36. Like, just brutal. Brutalization on the ask. Definitely good to watch the ask price, right? Still coming down. Oh, okay. Oh my God, man, it's ridiculous. All right, that's me. That's me. Paper hands. Will it recover the 5-minute candlestick though? And there's such a hesitation there though. After like you'd expect that to be instant after that type of drop. Like paper hands and I'm out flat. It's a good 40-50 cent bounce. It's having trouble here though. If this candle closes red on 5, it's probably finished. It's like a big rejection candle up the new high. With good volume too. And there's time left if it's going to keep sinking. Could be official backside. The issue with this type of stock is battling against the spreads and the moves not being as accurate in terms of your analysis. So if you're in higher and then, you know, the areas where you're expecting to see some resolution is not coming right away, it's like you're just losing against the spread, you know? I think that's the biggest thing with a stock like this. Typically, the spread wouldn't matter if the range is so big to where, the accuracy is helping out, right? Like, hey, I'm in 20 cents higher, but I'm still seeing a 40, 50, 60 cent move. Okay, I didn't make 60 cents, but I made 40 cents. But if the resolution isn't coming in those key areas right away, then you're just losing against the spread. And we can see a 50-cent drop and it's back up to a new high in a range like this, you know, rather quickly. 15.10 to 14.50 to 15.30, all within 6 seconds. Can it impress us here with a big dollar share squeeze? Is that what I'm seeing? No. Watching for the 5-minute candlestick to recover here. I'm about to just size down and just take it easy. Small size, just, slow and steady. Like even small, like infant size, newborn baby size, 50 shares. And as I say that, I'm sizing up 150 shares with more volume here. And there's no bounce on that scratch trade. 150 shares, 50 shares, all the same size, I suppose. All newborn size. $60 to 16. Let me just put this thing down, man. I gotta respect that we don't left the trajectory here and just do the right thing. Big level here. My stop is at 60 in this trade here. Come on, you can do it. Fly through 50. Fly. Fly. It is not flying. Maybe one more dip. Fly, fly, fly. Squeeze into new highs of 16. It's like it's just telling me it wants to go and then like nothing. So it's like I'd scalp that trade there, right? For like, probably should have kept holding, but I would scalp that trade at like 15.40 and then I'm out on spreads lower. There it is. Okay. At least my senses are still working because, goodness sakes, sometimes I want to know if I'm going mad. See, but scalping right there, right? Like, how many times would I be in at like 15.20 or let's say 15.40 and out lower trying to get that trade? And it's like, it's not coming, you know? And then when it does come, if you miss it, you know, RIP. It's trying to halt up at 17, 16. And it is still trying. Like, if anybody's shorting the stock, they should be feeling the pressure already. If they're short at like 15, it's already up $2 a share from that level. Let's say their average is like 15.50. They have to be feeling something here. Some fear of this going to 20 bucks and beyond. So if this stock just teleports down for no reason, like it just doesn't make any sense. This should easily go to 18.50 and $20. Okay, that's a fair fill, all things considered. I want to try and add if I can. Can we dip back down all the way to 15.50? I wouldn't expect it to. I'd say, you know, high 90s, high 80s, worst case scenario. Because if people are under the pressure here and there's room for this thing to keep flying, then we really shouldn't be down there at all. So just taking a small position, I'm looking to close my eyes here with diamond hands to see what it does. Can we see 17.99 into the halt up over the next 5 minutes? And then maybe over 20 eventually. that spread. The spread is spreading. Couldn't get a lower fill there at all. Barely. I gotta try to hit the bids is what I gotta do. I'm gonna try for the re-average on the other position. I don't want the position to end up being too high. I can't remember my hotkey either. Or if I even have one. 23. I don't mind one more lower. So again, I'm not expecting to see like 1540s or below, you know. Anything above that, I'm just gonna keep buying. And then watching for 20, I'm gonna look to hold this longer and just wait. Can I make a couple $100 out of this trade over time if it doesn't sink like the Titanic? Buying again. Buying like a madman. And watching with a stop in place. If I see 1540, 1530, I'm cutting it. What will it be? We're at the $0.50, and I'm cutting it. It's coming down way too much. The halt down is 02, so it's kind of close to the halt down, actually. So again, you know, in a good position here where we should be holding up nicely, we are sinking into a halt down. Fair trade. But where's the follow through to 20? The short seller's getting bailed out when we should be squeezing. When we should be flying into new highs. See, this is where I have to like cut it on the day now. Now that I tried a nice trade there, I'm down $600 after a $200 loss. Everything that I know tells me that this beautiful setup should flag and then continue higher into a push to 20, into a halt up. Everything tells me this. After an extensive consolidation here. But maybe I'm missing something. Hopefully it's not daily resistance, because that would be tough if it is. And I'm going to check NaOV. Is there daily resistance? Over 1660. There was room to... Hold up. The short squeeze did not continue. Last week we saw these same stocks going up $30. Now today it is rejection. And so maybe this is the day. A short day here. Is there anything that can save me with a nice move here? I don't know. I thought that was tough to trade. Maybe for someone else it was like smooth, but I just couldn't really get a good grip. That last breakout, I'm expecting it. AIIO, is there something here? Yeah, maybe for someone else that might have been a smooth move, but for me, that one was tough. AIO is up 60% with 10 million shares. It's hit the scans just now. Just watching here to see if it's any good. By the way, I didn't trade pre-market today. I woke up at 6 a.m. and I felt so terrible. Like man, I was kind of under the weather this weekend, so when I didn't feel too good, I'm just like, man, I'll just take the extra 2 hours of sleep. AIIO so far. Yeah, I'm not liking this one here at all. I'm gonna leave it be. CHEK. CHEK looks a little bit better on the tape. Maybe this is the one if we can halt up here and lock in. The redemption arc begins. The redemption. The halt is now at 298, moved up a couple cents. Would have loved the halt being that we're so close to the VWAP here. Guys, how about Tesla, right? How about Tesla? Let me just see here quickly. Okay, now it's time to go short. Today has to be the day to go short on this thing. For like a small move, not like expecting it to like wash out where it came from, but like a couple, Can we see a 10, 15, $20 share pullback over time? Maybe back to like 400, 390s. Where there's if it gaps up again in like another day like this, I mean it would really be crazy. CHEK halted down, and bro, I think I'm out of here, man. Like I'll take the L, take the lesson, and hold what I got. I'm just not able to connect on anything. I think I'm gonna shut it down here. I'll stick around a little bit afterwards just to see if anything else might come, but I think that's it. I don't see any other callouts. For the 10-second chart, this platform is called Day Trade Dash. It's a scanner. The links are down below. You can check it out. Scanner / 10-second chart as well. And look at NaOV, man. Right back up. All right. I think I'm out of here. How am I red every day after trading for 5 years, man? The momentum is kind of tough. I remember the days where I've been green every day for months. And now I'm getting cooked is what's happening. And getting cooked in front of 700 people every day is not nice. But because of my personality and my tenacity, I'm able to show up here without a problem. But I'm still getting cooked, though. That doesn't change that fact. The momentum has been quite tough here. I mean, you know, and we trade for this style of strategy. Like, there's a lot of us that trade it, and there's people who will interpret it a little differently in terms of hold times, in terms of like where they might like add to a position, in terms of off the lows, things like that. For example, you know, Marcelo will sometimes add into certain trades that are going down where I'm like cutting it immediately. And sometimes these small things like that can make a difference in the style and in the consistency, depending on like the type of momentum we're seeing. I've definitely been like having some trouble. You know, I think that's pretty obvious here, though. The past store has been going through it. Now, if I haven't done so well for so long, I think I would have been in some trouble for sure, like in terms of financial stuff. But I mean, I've made good money to where, you know, as long as this doesn't happen for like 2 years straight, right? Like me having trouble, then I'll be fine. If this is to happen for 3, 4, 5 years, then I have real problems, right? But for now, just keeping it tight, keeping it small, and going through the motion. Going through the motion. The only bad thing that I don't like, for the sake of transparency, is that I wasn't able to get my Guardian trades like to format into the software. But I do know my P&L though, so like when it comes time for the end of the year review, I can still be pretty transparent with that to show the people the realness of trading. The realness of trading. Yeah, I did sell a bunch of my Tesla shares. Like I feel pretty good. You know, swing trading has also been a pretty big blessing. You know, with Nvidia, 100%, the SPY, down at 4, was it like 4 or something, 480s, and then Tesla from 220s. We were able to catch some nice swings throughout. This is our best year ever for swing trading, actually. On the contrary to our day trading taking such a pullback, right? The swing, I mean, I don't know. It's like I could be more public with the swing stuff, but I kind of keep it, off wraps. Like right now, like I'll just say a little bit about it, but in terms of like the numbers, like I'm holding UNH, like that one I'm holding. I'm gonna keep holding for at least like another 6 months just to see what it does. I don't think it's ready to, you know, even after the nice move to 350, 360, I don't think it's ready yet. At least 450, 400 plus, at least 400 plus, 450, maybe closer to 5. I think it could do the full red to green over time. So for that one, I'll just keep waiting. Tesla, I did sell mostly everything on Friday. Although Elon, is going to come out today and buy $1 billion worth, I could have done with the extra $30 share boost, but it's all good in the neighborhood. My target was 370. I sold way above that, so I'm pretty content, pretty happy with that trade. We'll see. There's going to be more opportunities too, right? So the thing is with swing trading, day trading is so active, you have to be here. Swing trading is like once you buy the trade and the company is a strong company that's selling at a discount, then you just have to like do nothing. It's kind of crazy it's so crazy how it works. You can do nothing and then look back 2 months and just like see massive green in your P&L, but yeah, our day trading on the other hand, can definitely shape up a little bit here with these tough times. Swing trading holding us down, day trading taking us to the depths here for the short term. Where did I learn to swing trade? Honestly, I haven't learned to swing trade formally, but in terms of like here's my strategy for swing trading, right? It's pretty simple. Buy strong companies at a discount. And when there's something obvious going on in our economy or something is being obviously oversold and the financials are still strong, the numbers are still strong, projections are still strong, at this rate, it's like the company's kind of just going so cheap, and even to reduce your risk, like you can take a lot of principles from day trading, right? Which is you don't have to be all in one area. You can spread out your trades over time, accumulate a position, and then go from there, right? You don't have to always be all in. You always want to have a stop, of course, in case it's a because there could be something irrational, right? And I think the biggest risk for me in that aspect is if the market is to ever go into a depression where, let's say, companies are still strong or the market itself is still strong. Well, not the market, but companies are still strong. But, there's like an underlying issue that's causing even good companies to sink. In that case, you could be buying at a fair price, but, like we're still going to drop down maybe another 50, 40% or more, right? Those are the situations you have to watch out for, which is why having a stop that you're comfortable with always makes sense. But in the environment that the market is strong and the company is like seeing some short-term weakness, then, and then on top of that too, like there's other there's other chat rooms and stuff too, where you can see people are like having the same hypothesis that you're having too, which can also give you a little bit of confidence. Right, and also keeping up with financial news is also a pretty big one. Like, listening in, wherever you get your news from, whether it's like Bloomberg, etc. Like listening in, and not just listening to what the analysts are saying per se, but making sense of what the headlines are for yourself. So, swing trading can be pretty good, I think. And the tariff wars, like, was the tariff wars really going to sink such a bullish economy down to zero? what I think beyond even also the fundamentals is very important to be able to train yourself to buy when everything is weak, you know, like throughout the selling where people are just panicking. Like if we go back to COVID, the pandemic, the market was halting down every like for 2 days straight, I think, the entire market. We're getting like 15-minute halts, every single stock halting at the same time. And it's like the fear and the panic was at its highest. And that those 3 days were the bottom. Like that was the bottom of that market, of that weakness. Then Trump came on, hey, V-shaped recovery, we have a cure. And then, you know, I mean, you can always wait for the catalyst too, right? You don't have to be in at the exact bottom, but even if you want to wait for the catalyst. So, for example, in this newer tariff dip, when the fake news came out and we went, and the SPY went from like, because even if you bought there, right? This is the thing too, whereas the psychology is so important. We just can't get caught up with thinking it's high when we're still low, right? Relative to where previous highs were and where we could go. Fake news came out on this green candle here. Am I on dual screen? Fake news came out here, and we went from a low of 480 to 540. The next day after that, we're down at 509, and it was mentioned that, hey, this was fake news. But 509 versus 480, and I think this next day the real news came out, or maybe the same red day. I think it might have been the next day, then the real news came out. It's like we're still at 520 by 536 in this day. Granted, it's not 480, but if you fall victim into thinking, man, this is just too high versus the highs of 600 that we had, 610, and you're not in, especially when there's like this consecutive red days here too, down to 508. You know, you zoom out now and we're at 660, and if you bought anywhere in here, it still would have made sense, you know, versus where we are today, right? So even if you wait for the news to come out to get more of a safe entry, like that volume, you're not going to be in like super, super low, but it's still low relatively speaking, right? I mean, NVIDIA, it would have been like 110 versus 80. I mean, it's up $30 a share, but you know, we still got to 180, and it's probably going to go to 200 over the next couple of months, you know, or maybe the next 6-7 months. So, you know, those type of like mental things. And I think for large caps, it's a little easier because when day trading, it's all in the moment, very quick. Like it maybe like you might have like a 2-3 second window or a second window to like fully like, you know, gather everything into the new trade. With the SPY, you kind of have days to like have everything made up, you know, which can give you a bit of an advantage in terms of having a sound plan. I'm just it's just for me, I sold my SPY at 95, which I shouldn't have done, but it's still green. Green was good. Can't get, you know, bent out of shape, but yeah. But this is the reality too. Like another thing is too, we attended a seminar with for those of you guys who know guys like Jack Kellogg, the laptop legend, and Kyle Williams, if you guys are familiar with those guys. These are people who became profitable with Tim Sykes. We've went to hang out with these people, and like, you know, every trader kind of has, I mean, you know, maybe not every trader, but a lot of people will have slower years or like a down year, sometimes a red year, even after they've been trading for 8-9 years and have made over 5 million, you know, 10 million. So the transparency above all else for the people. But yeah, hit that thumbs up. Stay safe. Stay green.